Willie while winning with.
Here we go.
The human being was made to question his reality. Here is provided a forum that invades and rejects the mainstream media, where ideas and topics of interest outside of the norm are free to flourish and grow in the strangeness and with objectivity that is their right. Join us now for a discussion from somewhere between the real and the imagined, between outer and inner space, where things just odd enough to be the truth have a place to live, breathe, and make their home. Recorded live from the jagged edge of reality, this is JAG Radio.
Yes, indeed it is. JAG Radio, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. No rhyming intro today, because I just got here and I didn't have time to compose that shit. And I'm a little off bearings here, but I'm trying to get my shit together. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Excellent.
I'm doing wonderful, thank
Awesome.
you, Alex.
Fantastic. JD Marcel can't be with us tonight because apparently lots of other shit is more important than work to Jay.
Hey, he's partying right now. That's a shit, man.
Yeah, well,
Vegas.
Jay doesn't show up if he just kind of doesn't feel. If he kind of feels weird for a second, he doesn't feel like coming in. He just doesn't show up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, it's over and over with. But that's who he is.
Yeah.
I honestly, you know.
Jay, are you listening right now?
I hope he is. I hope the guy.
He's actually. I don't want to say anything, but he's actually under the table right now.
Give me a hand job.
Just how he likes it. So because Jay is not in the house tonight, we have one of my personal favorites, Mr. the one and only Trini Lamelli. Everybody, hand for Trini Lamelli.
Thank you. I'll give myself.
I'll give you a hand job. I mean, hand.
Really?
Clapping.
Clapping is too much to ask in this fucking room.
It's like this. It's like this, dude.
All right. Now,
It's like
see,
this.
even the disabled guy can clap. Speaking of disabled guys, we have Good Geeks, I'd say an intern is what I would call him, Mr. Mohammed, a.k.a. Mazari, a.k.a. Mo. Thank you, Dre, for fuck's sake.
Nice.
Because clapping is a step too far.
He gets that clicks.
Yeah, snaps, man.
Yeah.
I'm actually very happy that Mo's here because I want to talk about for a second about work ethic and the nature of how you get ahead in life. Now, any even errant listeners to the JAG Show know that that is a fairly common topic amongst this group of dudes. How do you get your shall we say, how do you get your foot in the door at something? How do you start doing something when it's something you want to do? Mr. Mo here, to my left, for those of you watching at home, it has a handicap. But he has a very seated and very, I dare call it permanent position with the Good Geeks.
Well, you better damn well
That's
it's permanent.
GOODGEEKZ.com. Good Geeks for all of your tech needs in the Southern California area. Now, as I understand it, Mo, let me speak for you if I may be so bold.
Go ahead.
As the story goes, or as I've heard it, is Mo kind of hung out at what are now the Good Geeks offices for a long time, essentially just sweeping floors.
Yep.
Until Mr. Trini Lamelli stepped in and said, hey, man, you know, why don't I teach you how to fix shit and you can maybe actually help out a little bit around here.
Yep.
And now that led to what Mo is doing now, which is all kinds of other things in our everybody's favorite little tech startup. But the reason why I mention this is a guy with one arm essentially hung out at an office and said, how can I make myself useful? And then he did. And the crux of this story is, if Mo can do it, then you can do it too. Anybody listening? I've never heard Mo complain. I've seen him be drunk with power as of late.
Oh boy.
That's an inside joke.
He wants a supervisory role.
Right, but what I'm saying is I don't give a fuck how bad you have it. You can gut it out. You can ball it out. You can make something happen. And at the risk of maybe giving away a little bit more than I intended to give away, or than Mo would know about, I happen to know that even when Mo isn't around, these guys are figuring out good ways to put him to use, good ways to put him to work, good ways to make sure that he stays on with this fledgling organization.
Correct.
Now, all of that, none of that would have happened if Mo had stayed home feeling sorry for himself, or if he had, decided that, hey man, I'm doing pretty good with this disability money from the government. I think this is all I need. I think I'm all right. He went above and beyond.
Let me just tell you something.
Yeah, buddy.
I've been volunteering forever, but you know what? I start looking for jobs, but nothing helped me out. The money's government didn't help me out, so I said, what the hell? Like, what I'm gonna do if I stay home?
That's
right now. I'm with the good geeks. They're pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
They'll let me do anything. Like I could repair. I only have one arm, but what's useful? Like God took something away, but He gave me something good.
That's right.
Which is I always mention to him, it's his personality, man. Which really is the driving force that keeps us all together. Is that he has a really agreeable personality, and everybody he's never rubbed anybody the wrong way, right?
No.
Well, not we certain gamers will remain nameless. Those of you
supervisor,
who, right? Well, those of you who listened to the show last week know who I'm talking about. But that's all right, because that to me is the definition of grit. What you just heard, that is as good as it gets. Nothing's gonna get in my way. I'm not gonna get anywhere. Certainly doing nothing and leeching off the man. I'm going to take my own destiny into my one good hand.
I think it's fundamental for everybody, man. You want to contribute some way. It's fundamental. I mean, I don't think anyone is actually happy being at home watching fucking TV, playing video games.
You'd be surprised.
Well, but I think they do suffer from some sort of depression, bro. I think that they're jumping into a reality that they have full control of, because the one that they live in, they don't.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Not all the way through, but in the following way.
Yeah.
I agree in the following way, which is human beings do need meaning.
Yeah.
I mean, we need, especially guys, and I suspect the vast majority of our audience is male, but you need something to get you going. I mean, you need some reason to get out of bed in the morning. And by the way, far be it from me to judge what your reason is. I mean, if the carrot on the stick takes many forms. It could be money. It could be some other kind of fulfillment. For most guys, I honestly believe it's sex. It's getting laid. I honestly believe most men do just about everything they do thinking, how is this going to get me laid?
What's gonna make me more attractive, right?
Right.
That's basically what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Fundamentally, I think it's all biology, man. That's what just drives us all.
It
Biology,
is interesting. It's specifically the sex instinct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, for some people, it's money. Trini, you have thoughts, it looks like.
No, I'm thinking.
You're thinking. No, and for some people, it's money. And it kind of, and that's fine too, but it kind of, it bears the following question. Let me pose this question to you guys, which is, if you had unlimited money, if you woke up tomorrow and you check your bank balance and it's just an infinity symbol like in Street Fighter, like when you make the time infinity, it's just that sideways 8.
Yeah.
What would you guys do?
Oh wow.
What would you do with your lives? I for one, I honestly, it would ruin me. It would destroy me, because I love to drink and I love cocaine and I love all kinds of. Oh, I didn't say that.
Did you just say that?
No, I love to drink and I love all kinds of other.
He loves Coca-Cola,
Stuff.
everyone.
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
That's
That's
exactly
fantastic
what I meant.
beverage.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'd probably have lots of STDs.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, because I wouldn't have to go ahead and talk to them and do the. No, I would just pay for it. It's like, you're pretty, follow me, and I would just give them a stack of cash and say, okay, we're gonna have sex tonight,
Right.
and tomorrow. And I'm gonna keep you around here for a while, and bring your sister with you too.
Okay.
And your mom, if she's kind of cute.
Bring your mom.
Yeah, if she's young, you
exactly.
have her about 18. Yeah, bring her.
Here's some money.
Well, if she's
and
Hispanic.
yeah, it wouldn't be a thing about like, I don't want to talk to you.
Right.
No,
Or maybe here's some cash. Talk to me.
Sometimes I hear Trini say shit and I think, God damn, Trini's a real man. It's almost like there are two Trinis. There's a Trini who walks around, a Trini and Melly who walks around as a sort of sensitive, almost tortured soul. He's like he goes around and he makes these observations about the human condition, and then he comes in here and I don't want to talk to a bitch. I want to hit that shit, slap her with my $100 bills, and make that bitch get the fuck out. after I hit it enough times.
Nice.
No, I feel like it would ruin me, and I think it would ruin a lot of people because for me, and that's again, George, you always like talking about this, which is it's the reason I really it's almost like being when I have very little money, it almost like wakes me up.
Yeah.
It's almost like okay, now you gotta stop fucking around.
That's a good point because I was talking to Lamelli over here, and I was like, if we weren't fucking broke, we wouldn't be starting this shit up from the grains up, right? Mm-hmm. If we had loans and shit, it wouldn't be the same process. No. We wouldn't appreciate what fucking what little, ladder gripping, up the side of cliff or whatever.
Xander has money.
What do you mean Xander has money?
Just saying.
Okay, whatever.
I mean,
yeah, well,
you can't make do with
no, in the immediate bank account.
But yeah, we would go from
account.
not having an office to having an office full of staff, and it would just be like there'd be no journey.
Yeah,
I think the story.
And you guys get a kick out of the journey.
I think you need that contrast, man. Because if I had unlimited money, I'd probably dude. I think I'd be fucking bored out of my brains, dude.
Yeah. No, it would, and you see it, and too bad Naga's not here this week. The guy who developed World of Warcraft, I think it was, got way rich.
Oh, really?
And just spent his days, partying and so forth, and you see it in his tweets or whatever, at the Hamptons or at in Ibiza and all this type of shit, and he's having the time of his life. And then, as time goes on, I hope he's still alive, otherwise I'm gonna feel really bad. But as time goes on, you see those same tweets from those same places, except now it's, well, another fucking day in miserable fucking Ibiza.
Whoa.
Fucking partying like crazy.
Really?
You know what I mean? And people, the quick and easy thing to say is, well, it gets old. And yes, I suspect it gets old, and after a while it gets boring. But also, when you have everything, you take away the I earned it aspect.
Yeah.
Which makes everything that much more enjoyable.
Yeah, I think life has to be challenging, man, to be worthwhile. Mm-hmm. So if you have a bunch of money, and you go through a cycle, you lose it all, but you get to climb that shit back. Because the fun is the climb, dude. It's the climb. I totally think it's the climb.
Yeah, it's a journey.
Yeah.
And also it's not, to me, not so much the climb, but the satisfaction at the end of the climb.
It's like, fuck, I did this from nothing, literally nothing.
To keep with your mountain metaphor, it's you're climbing up, your calves are burning, your legs are aching. You didn't think you could, you wanted to give up an hour ago, but you're still climbing, man. Yeah. And you get to the top, and you sort of don't sit on the ground. You kind of your ass just kind of drags you down. Yeah. You just kind of fall onto your ass on the ground, and you don't care that it hurts.
Yeah.
And you start opening up rations or provisions or maybe a cold one. Hopefully you kept it cold, and it's the most satisfying feeling that there is. And life is like that.
Well, because you're moving towards a goal, right? But actually, this will dovetail really well into another thing that I want to do. When you got a moment, I'll plug a video, but it's fear. It's fear, right? Fear is the actual. I was reading this one book. It's a really famous book. Probably one of the top 10 books for any CEO that's out there. It's Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich.
I know that one.
Right? You know that one. So I was reading this one section of it. It's kind of towards the end of the book. It's about fear.
Hold on, before you go on. I happen to know the backstory. So what? Napoleon Hill was a journalist living back in the time of when was it
Carnegie?
Carnegie,
yeah.
Right? Mr. Carnegie was making his fortune, and he set out, Napoleon Hill, as a young man of, I think he was maybe 25, or he was very young, to find out what is it that separates the rich from everybody else.
By the orders of Carnegie.
Right.
Yeah.
Or what is the X factor?
Yeah, he actually,
right?
Exactly. So Carnegie he found that there's some sort of magical power that we all have as thinking beings, right? And he, a journalist, right, Napoleon, he hired him to go interview all his best buds and like 500 of the richest men in the world back in the 30s, right? Around that time.
Yeah.
And so he found that there was a common thinking process, a common belief process that all these rich guys that built from nothing, like Ford, he didn't even graduate high school, dude. I think he just barely got out of elementary school.
Good for him.
Yeah, and it's all these guys. They were really, really focused on guys that literally had nothing, and they started up. So
Rags to riches.
Yeah,
all
rags
the
to
way
riches,
around.
literally. So what was it that drove these gentlemen to fucking do what they had to do, right? So it's something fucking magical, right? So so primarily towards the end of the book, which was kind of interesting, this one part that
it gets fairly philosophical, right?
It's very philosophical.
Yeah.
Very, very philosophical. But towards the end, which was the thing that really caught me, was he had a chapter on fear. And the fear was based, he goes, there's 6 fears that cripple people from doing anything in life. Which was, first one was fear of poverty, which was fucking interesting. That was the number one. That trumped death. That trumped fucking everything. Fear of poverty.
That is interesting because I've heard guys like Jewy investment advisor guys talk about how I love the Jews, by the way, so don't keep your retarded hate mail to yourself. Apparently there are more people in retirement age afraid to go broke than they are afraid of dying.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's fear of poverty, number one, right? That would motivates everybody to do something, right? Second one is fear of criticism, which is fascinating, man, because we always think about, we're a pack animal, right? So we always think about what Joe Blow is talking about us or what they'll think about us if we, if we start a business, if we fail, we're going to look like fucking idiots to our families and failures and shit, and no one's going to want to hang out with us or whatever.
No, and I can see that because especially when you're excited about something, you're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And now, smash cut 6 years later, and that thing I kept talking about at every party I ever went to, it turns out it didn't really work.
Because
out. Let's not bring it up.
Yeah,
actually.
well, I mean,
sore subject.
The whole thing about the fear thing is that, it's a big list it's at 6, but last on the list is fear of death. People don't really fucking fear death, really, honestly, to a certain degree.
Really?
Yeah, not that much, man.
I think they do.
Fear of being broke is way more powerful than fucking fear of death, man.
I'm not sure I believe.
Really?
I kind of feel like if you put a gun to most people's head and said, either I take all your money or I pull this trigger, I don't think they would choose death, right?
I don't know, man. I don't know. There's
really, George? You really?
Yeah, no. I'm serious. Like,
you think most people would choose to die than just have all their money taken away?
Back when the depression hit, right? No, not the depression, but back in like 2007 when the market fucking crashed, bankers were jumping out of the window.
Yeah.
Jumping out of the fucking window because they lost all their fortune.
Because they were fucking depressed out of their fucking mind.
They lost all their money.
Right, but it doesn't always mean people will make that choice. It doesn't even mean. I mean, then why would anyone rob anyone at gunpoint if they're just gonna say shoot me? I would argue most people would hand over their shit.
Mostly, I guess. I don't know, but I'm just saying that money's a big fucking deal. Money's a big deal. Money's a big fucking deal, man.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I love it when statistics ruin a perfectly wonderful diatribe.
So
there.
play the video, man. Let's check it out.
But money is a big deal.
Yeah. It's kind of 4 minutes long. I was pushing it after 30 seconds, but I listened.
Well, let's just do the first 30 seconds and see how it goes.
What holds people back to put Hill's philosophy into practice?
That's right.
Yeah, it has to do with.
Is this all right, George? Can we just leave it here, or do we want to
start
start
from the beginning, dude? Okay. Yeah. Damn, that's fancy right there.
Let's say we all want to think and grow rich. That's why we read books like Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. The book has been sold millions of times since 1937, and yet we don't see so many people thinking and growing rich. The interesting thing, the book itself talks about exactly what holds people back to put Hill's philosophy into practice. It has to do with fear. So let's look at the 6 basic fears that are described in the book. Poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, and death.
Interesting.
But let's focus on the first 3 because they are the main ones why people worry, and worry paralyzes. The number 1 fear is poverty, actually the greatest fear of all. For example, you think, oh, if I don't play it safe, I could get broke, so I better keep that job and do what everybody else does. Even though I hate it. What happens? You become lazy, you lack ambition, you procrastinate, you compromise, you make excuses, and so on. Fear number 2, criticism. You have a passion you would like to follow, but you think of all the mean stuff people could tell you if you pursue it. Worse than that, you think, what they could write about you on the internet.
Not the internet.
The internet. Oh.
The result, it destroys initiative and discourages the use of imagination. You get nervous, you lack charm, and you are unable to express your opinions in a successful way. Fear number 3, ill health. You want to do stuff, but you're feeling burned out, sick, have headaches, etc. You're afraid of germs and symptoms all the time. The fear of disease can actually produce the symptoms of the sickness you're worried about. Use alcohol or drugs to destroy the pains instead of rooting out the causes. The result, you think negative, expect diseases to appear, and get nothing done.
It's alright.
All these fears make you worry. This works slowly but persistently. It destroys self-confidence and initiative, and in the end, it paralyzes you. So how to get rid of fear? First of all, you need to understand that fears are nothing more than states of mind.
Fear is nothing more than states of mind.
And you, but only you, can take control and direct your mind.
You can kill it there, dude. That's fine.
That's good.
But that's interesting, man. Yeah,
I was feeling music.
Trinity jamming out over here.
Dancing out.
Sorry, guys.
But fucking fear does paralyze you, man.
Fear,
right?
man. I can't wait for the day where there's a startup. It might be us too. Where we're gonna be able to go ahead and.
Might be us.
Yeah, it will be us. We're gonna actually open up a person's brain, take out that fear shit,
and put in our chip.
That's
what I thought.
Yeah.
What chip? And put in a piece.
Well, the one that allows us to grab as much data that we need, so we could sell it to marketing companies.
And we can manipulate them.
So
and
you
make
guys
us
are the
buy
devil?
Yeah,
Essentially?
absolutely.
We want to sell,
we have a halo, dude. What are you talking about? We have a halo in our.
We want everything
It's
that
dubious
you
to
think
me.
about all the time to be, flood your face with like shit that you want to buy,
Oh, God.
girls you want to see,
fucking
cars you want
Christ.
to drive.
Wow.
We're gonna rip that fear thing out.
Welcome to the technological age, everybody.
Now is gonna love it.
But that is that's a very fascinating find there, George. I like it when other people bring in content for once. Fucking takes a goddamn.
It's 6
burden
o'clock
off
today,
my
guys.
soul.
I am not tired.
No,
Mm-hmm.
no, and
These are okay to eat, right?
yeah, no,
Yeah.
they're-
I feel pretty good.
Is there
right now.
is there booze on this table at all?
No,
yeah.
man, but I was scared early to eat these gummy bears. You're
I'm
alright,
like,
right?
I'm like, sissy, give me these
What
gummy
about-
bears. They're just regular
Right.
gummy bears.
Oh, they have the
They're
blood
LSD
log.
gummy bears in a
Yeah, you
weed
always
mug.
you gotta be careful about what you put in your mouth here at the except for unless it's Dre's penis, then that's always
Yeah.
good.
Then
Those
he's
are
like, yeah,
organic.
yeah.
That's organic.
Yeah, no, but that's really interesting. I think, frankly, it has. I think for you and maybe the guy who made the video,
Yeah.
the fear of being broke is probably
It's
more
humongous,
than the
dude.
fear of dying.
It's fucking humongous, man.
I would.
Yeah.
I listen. Give me poverty over death any day of the week.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'll tell you why. I mean, maybe this is something you need to hear, but if as long as you're alive, man, you can start over.
Yeah, see, that's brilliant that you have that perspective, right?
Thank you. I know.
Yeah, yeah. So for example, if I was gonna qualify you, I'd say you don't have that fucking factor in you at all, man. You don't give a fuck.
I mean, like anybody, it's a bit of a concern. But what's your?
Well, what I'm trying to get at is, I would say from the get-go, that's what motivates me to work every day, man. It makes me work every day.
You don't wanna get poor?
Back to Napoleon Hill's book, he was talking about how being broke, right, not having a job, you're actually you're belittling of yourself. Like he was talking about how even next to or people that that have jobs, you feel less than.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And you feel that you can't even be at par. You can't even see them in the face sometimes. So poverty is a fundamental, interesting analysis, I guess, because I never thought of it that way until I read that one chapter. I was like, God damn, I guess that's what motivates everybody to do what they fucking do.
I wouldn't always say that.
Well, going back to the pussy analysis, right? so basically, it does make you more attractive.
You read my memoir?
Yeah. The pussy analysis.
It's just
by
a cover, it
Alex.
just says pussy. Like a leather
all the
bound-
different ways I enjoy it. Yeah. But it does make you more attractive, right? So I guess in this element, poverty makes you unattractive because you're less confident, you're indecisive, you feel belittled. So those are unattractive qualities that don't get you to chick, man, right?
Yes.
It's a side element. It's a side effect.
Except for There's plenty of broke guys, it seems to me, crapping out kids left and right.
Yeah.
So I would argue it's very possible they're not affected by that.
Yeah.
But certainly, I guess certainly if one of your goals in life is ambition, you have ambition, you want material success, then I would imagine conversely, when you're not getting that, you feel there might be a sense that you're sort of failing at life, right? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, to a certain
so
degree.
So that's what
yeah,
creates that sense of shit.
Urgency.
Everybody else is making it but me. Everybody, certainly you hear a lot of that actually nowadays from some younger people.
Really?
Like younger millennials. There's a lot of because as I've said many times on this show, 20 years ago, if you were 30 years of age, you were expected to have a mortgage, maybe a family, maybe all these sort of what we consider to be milestones.
You shouldn't be at home anymore.
Right. And now I think it's something like 60% of people from 18 to 35 are staying with family. So the paradigm is shifted, but I think a lot of people are dealing with that issue.
Something that's interesting. Say this new what would you call them, millennials, right? The whole thing is they feel when they're going to the workforce, we get a lot of volunteers at Good Geeks, right? That's Good Geeks, GOODGEEKZ.com. So we get so we get a lot of people coming in for extra work experience and stuff like that, right? Their degrees apparently aren't good enough to get a fucking job nowadays, right? So a lot of times they feel that they have to give away their services to get this type of experience, this leg up over the next job, Joe Blow that's fucking applying for a job, right?
Blowing Joe?
Yeah, Joe, I know you're gonna jump on that, dude. You're good.
I love how Dre just these eloquent contributions of analytical discussion to our podcast.
Joe Blows? What the fuck? Give me his number, goddammit.
Christ.
Yeah. So it's creating a lower class right now. This bigger division between the haves and the have-nots. Mm-hmm. Because if you're getting if you're in this generation where you're actually giving your services away just to get a leg up into any particular position, you actually, I think you're diminishing your value, man.
Here's the thing, I do, and I think a lot of this is mental. In other words,
it's all mental.
A lot of this shit
100%.
is inside of you. Yeah. Going back to my look, I know plenty of guys that with a $50 bill and a pack of Newports that'll tear up holes on the block. You know what I mean? And it doesn't stop them from seemingly doing anything.
Yeah.
But I think too, you're talking about, because I also know that there's plenty of guys who are, well, I would say 19. I was going to say 19 and sort of bumming around, but that seems to be extending all the way to 25 and beyond.
Oh, beyond that.
Guys who are just sort of.
I was just talking to a client the other day. I went and picked up something at their house, and they've got 4 kids, and one of them just graduated high school. Well, not just, probably a year ago, and the guy's still at home and just skates around all day. And so he's like, you know what? I have this old Honda Civic. It's yours. All I need you to do is pay for the tags and the insurance. No, just pay for the insurance.
This is you saying this to him?
No, that's the dad telling the kid.
Oh, okay.
And so the dad told this to the kid, and the kid went to the mom.
So that he gets off his skateboard.
Yeah. So then the kid went to his mom, and he's like, you know what? I thought about it a lot. I don't want the car because then I have to pay for gas and insurance.
Wow.
And I was like, what the
Travel
fuck?
light, man.
I remember I was driving since I was fucking 14 or something like that. The first time I get some wheels, I'm like, shit, man, I can do whatever I want.
Damn, dude.
Meet fucking girls, get a job. I look fucking, But no, this dude's like, nah, I'm just going to skate around.
No, because he's trying to be lazy. That's all.
Yeah, no, and the same thing for the rest of the kids. He was pretty pissed and fed. He's like, man, these fucking kids. Yeah.
The dad was.
Yeah, he's like, I don't fucking get it. And they don't come to me because mom's got them. Yeah, she's super soft with them, and and I'm thinking about downsizing this house and shit, and they got to start working and all that stuff. So
that dovetails to this one guy that I knew. He was actually one of our customers a while back ago. He worked 2 jobs, right? So he worked at a hotel, his main position, and he was like the head bus guy. He would handle all the bus boys and all that shit on all the floors, right?
Right.
So this would be in Hollywood, and this is where I guess all the celebs party and shit. So, he's like, oh, I guess the reason why he broke into this conversation was, oh, I'm doing a Justin Bieber party. He's blowing like $2 million on the fucking party and shit.
What?
Like, we got to close off the floor. Chicks are nude everywhere and
What?
shit. I know, it's fantastic, huh?
Crazy.
Nonetheless, so he was saying, my fucking kid, he goes, I'm getting internet for my kid because he can't pay for it, right? So I'm like, all right, well, how old is he? Like 14 or something? He's like, no, he's fucking 25, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, all he does all day fucking long is he plays video games in his room.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm like yelling at him all the time
Yeah.
to get your fucking act together and get blah, blah, blah. Long story short, I'm like, you know what, dude? I go, how long has he been doing this shit for? He goes, well, he's been doing this for a few years and shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, this motherfucker, I go, have him come in, volunteer with us, right? To get him, like, his fucking chemicals flowing,
Yeah.
right? Because he's depressed right now, dude. I think
Damn.
you go into the video game world
Yeah.
to fucking
Yeah,
hide
well,
yourself.
Listen.
we have that one guy, our hardware guy that just sits
Mark?
in his, Peter.
Oh, Pete.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he just disappeared in his room. But I think a lot of it too is for some reason.
I love how you guys are just talking about people the listeners have no idea who
Oh,
these people are.
I know, right? Another thing too that it's big. It goes back to the fear thing. Is that I've heard and I've seen lots of people now. Well, I got anxiety. I have I have clinical anxiety and I have phobias and no, I can't leave the house and that just like my mom and dad didn't suffer from that shit. They had to do what they had to do.
Let me tell you what that is when you have a goal, when you're doing something. In other words, Trini, you're an avid outdoorsman. One of the things I like about you.
Yeah.
You love hiking trails and so
Yeah.
forth, going back to hiking. There is no room for depression there. There's no room for anxiety.
Yeah, no.
There's no room for anything. In other words, anxiety, and I get that some people have clinical anxiety and it's debilitating, whatever. I those people, if you ask me, are in the vast minority. I think a lot of it is when you're doing shit, there's no time to be anxious. There's no time to be depressed. There's no time to be anything. When when you're not doing anything, when you're lounging about the house in your slippers and your satin robe, or regular cotton bathrobe, if
Or
we're
in your
staying true
tidy
to,
whities.
or if we're staying true to this demographic, that's when you get all up in your head.
Well, yeah, 'cause
That's
you don't
when-
have time. Too much idle time.
That's right.
You know?
And I think that's what a lot of that
Yeah.
is.
It's head work, dude. You get
Yeah.
into this one place where stimuli is restricted, but it lets you live in your head.
Yeah.
Right? Because, when you're hiking, you have fucking shit. You have a trail that you have to stay on.
Yeah.
You
Right.
don't get fucking eaten by a rattlesnake
Yeah.
or bit by a rattlesnake.
in other
whatever.
words, how many Marines in boot camp who have to get up at 5 a.m. at Reveille and go running and trotting through woods with shit on their backs? No one's like, hey man, I'm anxious, I'm depressed, I'm not doing it today. No, you get up and you fucking do it. You get
He's
and
like,
then
nah, man, I'm gonna put my gun down.
No way, man.
I'm gonna stay in the bunkhouse.
I'm like not in the right headspace for all of this like noise right now. I'm gonna hang out. And
Hey,
no, but
Jimmy,
when
I'm going to shoot you in the foot. You shoot me in the foot after I shoot you, okay?
That's right. No, and look, those guys were around in, say, World War II, and you were considered a huge coward and a deserter. And now it's like, hey, man, if you need to take personal time off work, if you want to miss your podcast because you want to go to Vegas, then hey, that's up to you. That's your decision. That no one can judge. Who are we to judge why someone wouldn't go? If you want to not do the JAG show because there's you have a date or you like some kind of weird get together that came up yesterday. Hey, who are we to tell you not to come to work? No, but that's really what that is now devil makes work for idle hands. It really devil makes work for an unoccupied mind. And it usually sort of just turns in on itself. People turn in on themselves if they don't have anything to do.
Napoleon was talking about fear, and he was talking about how fear makes you indecisive. It makes you double guess your thoughts, right?
Yeah.
And makes you basically paralyzed in any decision that you need to make, right?
Yeah.
So that's the headspace, man. That's what you're talking about. But it's based on fear.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not good enough. I'm not. Everybody tells me I'm criticized that I fucking the number 2 fucking on the list. I'm not good enough. I'm fucking lazy. All this shit blows into your head and it ingrains and you get into your headspace that you are immobile. You're paralyzed.
Yeah, you shut yourself down before you
disabled.
even try.
You're literally disabled, man.
Right. No, and it does speak to something fascinating, which is the guy, the metaphorical guy that you're talking about, George, the, say, 25-year-old who's just kind of bumming around, maybe playing a little bit too much video games. And for fuck's sake, how many I've been on this show. Give me a second, Mo. I've been on this show talking about how video games ruin people. I mean, I know we're on the Super Audio Network. I like to think you guys have control over your addiction. But
look at the studio, man. Does it look like I have control over my addiction?
This is Dre's world, dude.
This is like the inside of Dre's head, I would imagine. Right, Dre?
It's the second time I heard that today, man.
There'd be more clouds of smoke.
Yeah.
And actually, ironically, a lot more penises.
The penis, yes. Thank you. You know me.
Yeah,
it's on the mind.
And it's you know, but it really, this is actually an intervention. But actually, it ruins guys. A lot of guys, it fucks them up because, hey, man, why should I have to live in a world where I have to get a job and drive a crappy car and never get laid when I can go into a virtual world where I'm, I don't know, killing monsters or saving the princess or whatever the hell these assholes are doing with their fucking time, wasting their goddamn lives.
You know, talking about our common friend Pete, Pete the tech guy, right? We'll call him Pete the tech guy.
Let's define who he is.
Who is this guy? He's a good friend of ours. We worked with him for a few years, and so we did an intervention because we were constantly fucking. Yeah, he was off the grid, man. He was like not even reached by cell phone. Everything was disconnected. Fucking emails are disconnected. Whatever. So the whole point is, we did an intervention. We went to his house. We fucking went to his house. We noticed that his house where he's living at was hollowed out. There's construction.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like, motherfucking, where the hell did he wind up? So when we asked these chicks that were standing in the driveway, it's like, hey, do you know a Pete? She's like, oh yeah, he lives in the second house now. So whatever. So we walk up to the second house.
Squatting.
Yeah, right. so I'm like fucking telling Trini, I'm like, dude, this motherfucker in here, man.
The door slaps together with a chain.
But fucking Trini in his divinative methods of evidence.
Yeah.
Talk about it, dude.
Oh yeah, so. We walk up to the house and George is like, no man, he's not. He's probably not here. I was like, no, there's that room is fucking pitch black. There's curtains covering the thing, but there's an AC running. He's playing video games right now. It's full blast. He's home. Knock on the fucking door. The dad comes. He's like, yeah. I'm like, hey, Peter here. He's like, let me check. It must have been like fucking 5 minutes. He comes back. He's coming. And it took about another 5 minutes. It must have been 10 minutes of waiting.
Right.
And finally he comes out. He was probably there in his fucking underwear, sitting at the thing with his headphones on and everything. But yeah, it was like that fucking video game. I know it's running. Probably AC's running full blast. There's curtains blacking out the whole room. And yeah,
so
for sure.
He's in his own world, right?
Yeah.
So, but we did this intervention because, you know, he's a very creative guy when it comes to hardware and shit. So we're geeky. We need some shit done.
Right.
We thought of him because he's our friend. We want to take him along with us, right? In other words. So we went to his pad. We got him out. Fucking wore all kinds of fucking wrinkled shirts and shit. Basically, he just probably had grabbed shit from the fucking laundry basket and fucking put it on.
Yeah.
Is it just like me and Dre?
Why? Yes.
What's wrong with me?
You dress like me.
No, this
I
guy
look
walked
great.
out. This guy walked out with a sweater on, and it was fucking hot as hell.
Yeah,
but hey,
but
long
it's
story
normal shit.
short,
Well, it's cold in that room with that AC, man.
I know, right?
Yeah,
What do you
I guess
want?
so, right?
So we had to pull him out. Took him for coffee. But yeah, it was kind of we just want him along for the ride. Right?
Yeah.
How
So-
did that conversation go?
It went awesome. We were like fucking energized. I was like, yeah, man, we're gonna fucking take over the world. So he comes in, right? We're fucking gonna kill everybody. You know, just fucking like, this is it. We're gonna fucking crush everybody. So what? He came in for 1-2 days.
Yeah, it came for a couple of days, right? He got a fucking honorary shirt and everything,
Yeah.
right?
Nice.
And he was like, "Fuck, I loved it when you guys had me when we were pitching him as our thing, man." He's like, "Oh, you guys had me at the shirt, man.
This
I
is
need
at
to
the
have a
coffee
shirt."
shop.
Yeah.
At the coffee
He's
shop.
loving the
Yeah.
shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's loving the idea. We're turning ideas around, and we're like,
Right.
he's jazzed, right? So he came to the shop, started working for a day. Second day, kind of a little shorter than the first day,
Yeah.
and then the third day was not happening, right?
Yeah.
So he's off the world, the face of the earth for about a week or so, right?
Right.
So we're like, God damn, what the fuck? So he wound up showed up again to work and or to help.
Yeah.
And then fucking Trini was in his brilliance. He goes, you know what? he's probably going to come in with us. Because, while we were at Starbucks that one day, we were pitching, he was talking about something he wanted to start up himself, which was, video game rig making, right?
So you're pitching him Good Geeks after you intervened and got him out of his fucking shithole.
Yeah.
His air-conditioned shithole.
Yeah.
And you're you're telling him about your company, but he starts pitching back to you about what he wants.
Exactly. So, he wants to make a video game system, right? Whatever. So I'm like, sweet, we can make it for you. We can probably fund it for you, and we'll fucking sell the shit out of it, right?
I'm skeptical already.
No problem, right? So then the third day comes around when he finally shows up after, a week lapse and shit.
Yeah.
And he shows me, he goes, guys, I have something I want to talk to you guys about. I'm like, okay,
serious,
all right,
serious.
no problem. Yeah, like super serious. I'm like, all right, no problem. So we sat down with him.
What are you thinking at this moment? Are you thinking he's gonna want to talk money? He's gonna want to talk what?
At this particular point, I was like, he looks serious. He's not, he's not a confrontation guy, right? He does everything to avoid confrontation.
So this is already out of the norm.
Completely. Yeah. So he's like, I was thinking about the video game rig stuff, and I want a percentage of it, right? I'm like, all right.
Well, it started off with. It started off with.
Remember when I mentioned money?
Yeah, I actually. That's kind of my idea, and I really want to do it myself. But I'm willing to work with you guys, and we just got to split it up,
And we were like, you know what? That's all right, because we want you along.
Yeah, we
so
care about
whatever.
it.
I mean, we do actually care about him. So
you're being
compromising.
Compromise. Yeah. So let's both get our beaks wet here. Fine by us.
Yeah, no problem. So it's like, we'll give you a big cut. I go, what do you want? You tell us what you want. And he goes, well, I'll take 40, you take 60, right? I'm like, that's fine, no big fucking deal. We'll do all the web work, all the marketing, all the building, all that shit.
Red Zero.
Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly, right? So he's like, all right, sounds good. All right. And then, that was pretty much it. And then he just fell off the face of the earth after that.
Yeah. And so the next day he doesn't show up.
I was asking about him.
Mo was asking
and
about
then the
him.
next day he doesn't show up, and I'm like, fuck, George, like, what's wrong with him? And I texted him, nothing. I called him, nothing.
God almighty.
George is like, after the third one, George is like, no, man, just don't do it anymore. But I did it again. I'm like, fuck, I gotta reach out again. All right. Hey, we're gonna go camping, man. Like, hey, you want to join or nothing? Wow. I'm just like, what happened?
Yeah. So in other words, his paradise, his game cyber paradise is
but it's also
definitely.
I think it's a fear thing too. I don't know.
He's an introvert.
Yeah.
No, I'm an introvert.
I mean, I am too.
And that's not what that is.
That's something different.
No, it's more. You know what it is? It's he foresaw serious amounts of work now. In other words, this thing is now gaining traction. This isn't a joke. Okay. These guys are serious.
Yeah.
These guys are actually. This might become a thing, and that would mean me no longer playing 12 to 16 hours of video games anymore. And do I really want to make that trade-off?
That's fascinating.
And here's the thing: he lives with family.
Yeah.
Maybe pays minimal rent, or at least rent that is very easy. He somehow he has a roof without having to do any actual work.
Yeah.
And when you do that to a human being, you destroy them.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
You cripple them. Like, look, how do you fuck up someone's life? Buy them a house in a place they don't want to live. And they will disintegrate. And on that wonderful and happy note, thank you all for joining us on the JAG Radio Show. Where can they find us, George, really quick?
JAGradio.com, everybody. Go there to see all the vids. And somewhere on Facebook,
blah.
somewhere
I think
Twitter.
It's JAG Radio 1, blah, blah, blah. You guys go Google
that's
us,
Jay's thing, man.
And tell your friends, tell everybody about this podcast. We don't help us keep the lights on around here. Help us buy booze. We've done too many sober shows. I'm unhappy, goddammit. Help us make it happen. And thanks for joining us. Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Trini, so much for Engineer Dread Day All Day, George Antonio, special guest host Trini Lamelli, and special guest Mr. Mo Mazzari. I'm Alex Martinelli, reminding all of you to never stop learning.